Yo, October 4th, 2021. Halfcast 150, episode 150. Let's do it. Yeah. Happy Monday, y'all. Let's get this week started, baby. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Let's have at it. Yeah, so today is my first day starting recording at this new time. If you would rather hear me drop an episode at 11 o'clock at night, or if you like this time better, around like 5, 6, maybe 7-ish sometimes, I don't know, somewhere between that time frame, hit subscribe and let me know. But I'm going to be sticking with this earlier time, maybe around like, I don't know, 7-ish, around 7-ish. Hello there, if you're tuning into me. I have a few stories to share with you guys. Let's do it. First up, 2 TV reporters wore Afro-like wigs live on the air. They have been suspended and their boss fired, rightfully so. Rightfully so, because this is a touchy subject. This is like, what's the difference between this and blackface? Like, so, and your boss should be, first off, you should be suspended for not questioning this. And then also your boss, his job, yes, his job should have been on the chopping block for even bringing this up as something to possibly do on the air in the first place. Heat waged a summer-long siege against Little Rock with average high temperatures topping 90 degrees in July. On September 4th, the city hit triple digits for the first time in more than 3 years. Officials opened cooling shelters and urged people to check on children and the elderly. Yes, then in the middle of September, an approaching cold front was poised to drive off the heat and drop temperatures. Local television station KATV decided to celebrate with wordplay and return to the 70s. Oh, come on. You could have did a million things in a return to the 70s segment in which on-air personalities sported looks popular in the 1970s. They might have chosen bell-bottoms, tie-dye t-shirts, or peace symbol to pull off the gag. Instead, 2 white journalists. Not everybody could pull off the Bob Ross, baby. Wore Afro-like wigs. Not everybody could pull off the Bob Ross. The fallout was swift and severe. Yo, how you don't have anybody in what is this, a local TV station? It doesn't matter. You don't have anybody in your room. Even the janitor could have been like, that's a bad idea. I don't think you should do that. Yeah, anybody could have told you like, I don't think that's the right idea. Yeah. Sinclair, the fallout was swift and severe, exposing the TV station's ongoing struggle to combat racism. I think you did. I think you just set yourself back. Sinclair Broadcast Group executives apologized for the poor judgment that led to the segment, fired the station's longtime news director, Nick Genty, and indefinitely suspended Chris May and Barry Brent. If you're trying to repair race relations, then where was some type of guy that you contact, some type of girl that you contact, like, hey, we're thinking about wearing afros in a nod to the 70s. No, and somebody to be like, no, let's rethink this. Let's wear platform shoes. Let's do tie-dye, whatever they said, peace symbols. Let's do the little glasses, like Sonny and Cher glasses or whatever. They would have gave you. check out your options before you just go for straight Afros. You know, it was a spoof on the 70s that just went wrong. Afros wasn't the only things that were going on in the 70s, too. At like KATV newsrooms around the country are less diverse than the US workforce as a whole and have been for decades, something journalism leaders have said they want to change. Pushes to diversify newsrooms have intensified in recent years, spurred in large by the racial reckoning in country faced after Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd in May 2020. Okay, the your heart is in the right place. Your heart is in the right place, but you need to get a consultant on this the next time you decide, because there were more things going on with black folks than just afros at that time. Wow. Yeah, in Little Rock, local art activist Anika Whitfield was not amused. You should have called her. This is right here, buddy. You should have called her. Was not amused by it. You could have tweeted about a 70s segment saying that a white person wearing an afro wig is a perpetuation of systemic racism. She then complained to KATV management, the Arkansas Times reported. When they did not respond, according to the paper, Whitfield went to the Siebers, who got back to her quickly. Wow. Yes, read the temperature before you hit record on these things. Yeah, before you record, please. Just in Afro though, really? There were other things going on in the 70s besides that. Next up. Facebook struggles to quell uproar over Instagram's effect on teens. In San Francisco over the past few weeks, top Facebook executives assembled to assemble virtually for a series of emergency meetings. In one gathering last weekend, half a dozen managers, including Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, and Nick Clegg, Facebook's vice president of global affairs, discussed pausing the development of an Instagram service for children ages 13 and under. Please, this is almost a worse idea than the afros. Just don't drop it until you have. This is what social media is for children right now. Social media is for children at a certain age. It is the same for grown folks too, but it's a playground. It's a virtual playground where you're gonna get kids are getting there's jokes being told at other people's expenses. There are people misunderstanding things, and there's just like, yeah, there's a whole lot of bullying, it's pushing and prodding. It's a playground. And yeah, so yeah, it said two people discussed pausing the development of an Instagram service for children ages 13 and under. I am a grown person, and for almost a year, I didn't even want to log into my Instagram account because of the things that I was seeing. And yeah, said two that I did not ask for. Said two people briefed on the meeting. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook chief's executive, weighed in to approve the decision. People said the meetings continued this week with the larger group that included Facebook's strategic response teams, which are overseen by Mr. Clegg and Sheryl Sandberg, this chief operating officer, COO. The people said the executives debated what to do about internal research around teenagers and Instagram, they said, and decided to publicly release some information, but annotated to add context. Facebook has been in an uproar over the past few weeks, which the meetings were held to quell. The tumult began after the Wall Street Journal published a series of articles last month that showed Facebook knew about the harms of its services, including teenage girls saying that Instagram made them feel worse about themselves. And you do take this information into consideration. You have to, but no matter if you drop a platform that's mixed in between adults and teenagers or kids and teenagers, there are just going to be like there's shaming, there's bullying, there's I don't agree with your point of view. I don't like what you're wearing in this video. There's going to be all of it. So you can't 100% shield anything. I mean, there's some things I guess you can filter out maybe, but for for an experience that lets people know, that makes people feel like they are completely free to use the app as they see fit for themselves. It's not like the only thing people can do is just like, you can try to understand there's going to be jerks out there at all age levels and all age groups. um yeah, which is it's kind of messed up, but once again, this is the play. Social media has become a new playground, and it's even worse because the people that's typing things and the people that's saying these horrible things to people that just want to have a good time, they are behind the keyboard and they can't get punched in the damn face for it. That's what it all really comes down to, is it's characters without consequences. Um Facebook has been in an uproar over the past few weeks, including teenage girls saying that Instagram made them feel worse about themselves. The articles were based on a trove of Facebook documents which were leaked by an unidentified whistleblower. Oh, here we go. The revelations immediately set off a wave of criticism from regulators and lawmakers, many of whom moved swiftly to call the company to account. As scrutiny mounted, Facebook delayed the Instagram service for children. On Thursday, Antigone Davis, Facebook's global head of safety, was questioned for more than 2 hours by lawmakers about the mental and emotional toll its services could take on kids. I don't think you are going to. And kids are worse. Kids are worse on each other. So I really don't see there's just no safe, there's no safe social media now. Like, that's how I feel. There's nothing safe about it. The only thing you can do is let, especially at teenage level, you can try your best to let your son, let your daughter know that no matter your content is awesome or whatever your content is, you're just trying to have a good time. But there's always going to be people out there who just not even because they like it or dislike it, they just want to take an opposing view. And that's just the world, period. No matter if somebody says 2 plus 2 equals 4, there's always going to be somebody that argues 1 plus 3 equals 4 too. Like, no, why, you're wrong. The effort has been so time consuming that several projects due to be completed around this time have been postponed, so that people with knowledge of the company's plans. Uh, yeah, executive also convened to discuss the future of research at Facebook. Said two people briefed on the calls. Some question whether the social network should continue conducting research on its products, because they said companies such as Apple did not do similar user studies. Well, Apple is a little bit different. Apple doesn't really have a platform that is used every day for people to express themselves. So yeah, like, but some employees said the post, which was shared with the Times, do little to ease their concern. If Instagram can cause 3% of our users to report strongly negative thoughts, depression, anxiety, and self-harm, I think that's a problem worth looking into. Of course it is. You don't, the last thing you want to hear is a story about somebody getting bullied into committing a crime or committing suicide. Our policies of covering up this kind of research are creating difficult political, regulatory, and legal problems for the company. Hell yeah. If somebody decides to come and shoot up a school or something because of something they posted on Facebook, geez, this information, that type of information is all very important, especially when you're about to roll out a new product which involves children and people who are like easily, their minds are easily coerced into doing things. Or yeah, here we go. Walmart, CVS face billions in claims they fueled opioid epidemic. And well, the people who make the drugs, they really fueled it, right? Walmart and CVS would, in that case, just be posing as like the transporters, the mules in the situation. That's what they would really be, right? Bloomberg, Walmart, Inc., CVS Health Corps, and Walgreens Boots Alliance Inc. face billions of dollars in damages as they go to trial over the role their pharmacies play in the U.S. opioid epidemic. What did you think? That just those guys up top? Oh, I was just yeah, we were just, they gave it to us to sell. We were just selling it. No, Everybody's gonna get hit. It's gonna trickle down. Yeah, two counties in Ohio will be among the first to try the companies in federal court over lawsuits filed by communities across the country. They say pharmacies created a public nuisance by failing to properly monitor doctor prescriptions and patient drug use habits, forcing communities to spend taxpayer money to cope with addiction and fatal overdoses. Similar suits are pending against drug makers and distributors. This is a blame should be shared because if you see somebody like two times in a week coming to fill a prescription that shall last them for about a month and a half, like there should be some type of red flag in place for that. I don't exactly know how that stuff works, but yeah, if I'm getting if I just got Oxycontin today and you see me again on Saturday and I want another bottle of Oxycontin, then then that should ping somewhere, don't you think? Ohio is one of the states hardest hit by the opioid crisis, which has killed almost 500,000 Americans over 2 decades. Whoa. Trumbull and Lake counties alleged they were flooded with 140 million pills from 2006 to 2012 as pharmacies turned a blind eye to suspicious prescriptions and didn't make the required good faith efforts to determine if they were legitimate. Sheesh. For many years, pharmacists were pulled in two directions, said Elizabeth Chiarello, a St. Louis University sociologist who has studied the industry's response to the opioid crisis. They are required by law to fill legitimate prescriptions, but the chains want them to do it fast and efficiently as possible, which meant they didn't provide much help in weeding out the so-called pill mill scripts. Oh, see, so there was no way to like filter out who's using it because they need it and who's using it because they've become addicted to it. I would think frequency of return is should be a very easy way to gauge. Like, yeah, there should be a database. I always thought there was a database for that where frequency of return. Like, okay, well, I'm prescribed to take one oxycontin every day with dinner at 5 o'clock, and that's supposed to last me 30 days, and you see me in a week, like that shit empty. You know what I mean? So that means either I'm selling them or I'm taking them. Either way, that should ping something is wrong. The Cleveland case is the first jury trial of more than 4,000 opioid lawsuits consolidated before U.S. District Judge Dan Bolster, who has been overseeing the litigation since 2018 and has encouraged a national resolution to all claims. She's a global deal could cost the pharmacies 10 billion to 15 billion pocket change, which is they probably made that when I rolled out of my bed this morning just off scripts alone. They probably just it rolled off the assembly line and it's packaged up ready to be distributed before this podcast is over. But they're likely to proceed with early trials to bolster claims the companies will make to their insurers to cover any liability. Insurance companies, I know how many insurance companies do you think are going to help them shoulder the brunt of that hit? That is a hell of a hit for an insurance company. Who pays? Okay. Even if there's a judgment, the conduct that serves as the basis of liability could be deemed to constitute negligence, such that insurance will have to indemnify them. Holly from by analysts. Click here to see what in August, Rite Aid Corp was dropped as a defendant in the Cleveland trial after reaching a deal with Trumbull and Lake counties. Court records show details weren't disclosed, but people familiar with the deal said the company agreed to pay more than $3 million. That is the payout. Is figure out, yeah, like what is that like? I'll settle if you pay this. I'll settle out then if my insurance will cover the brunt of the in July. Rite Aid, Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens settled cases brought by two New York counties after the start of a state court trial filing. Show Suffolk County said the companies would pay it a combined $13 million. Wow, Nassau County didn't close how much it will receive. Before that trial began, drug maker Johnson and Johnson agreed to pay 263 million to settle claims against it. Wow, everybody's getting screwed. Everybody's getting screwed. Walmart hired only credentialed, trained, and licensed pharmacists, the company's lawyers said in court filings. Walmart then provided multiple resources to further assist those pharmacies in dispensing controlled substances. Randy Hart, well, if you're a pharmacy tech, or first off, you're just filling prescriptions. So if somebody comes in and they're like bugs and their eyes are like bloodshot and they have the shakes and they're acting moody, they're acting temperamental, you can't really, how do you diagnose somebody with a drug problem if you weren't properly trained to diagnose somebody with an addiction problem? How do you like, yeah, somebody that's just filling a prescription so they can sell all the pills probably won't look like they have a drug problem because they're not doing any of them. They're not doing all of them. They're selling them. They're using them for things, yeah, that they're not supposed to be for. We never manufactured or marked. Walgreens spokesman Phil Caruso said the company's pharmacists use state-of-the-art systems to help decide which opioid prescriptions were legitimate. What is that, like a check? Like you go to cash a check and it runs through. We never manufacture or marketed opioids and never sold opioids to the pain clinics. It doesn't matter. Internet pharmacies or pill mills that fueled the opioid crisis. It doesn't matter. But the Ohio counties claim the pharmacies ignore obvious red flags about opioid prescriptions, including out of state patients traveling hundreds of miles to get painkillers. Whoa, and violated state and federal laws to pump up profits. Once this stuff hit the market, this is just like any other drugs, like cocaine, like heroin, like fentanyl, like any once these drugs hit the market and the effects are known and people start getting addicted to them, who cares about crossing state lines? Who cares about crossing federal lines? Who cares where they get them from as long as they get them? Yeah, wow. Next up, that is a huge problem. I will be happy to keep an eye on that story. I've been like side eyeing it a little bit because there's a lot going on. But yeah, I would like to keep an eye because now it seems like who's gonna take the most of the blame? Who's gonna shell out the money? Who's gonna take the blame? And yeah, and whoever's filling out the prescriptions, I really thought they had a database where if I came back, if I had a month's worth of pills, like if I asked my doctor send me a prescription, I ran out, and he should be like, okay, well, it's been a month. Okay, he should be about due. And then I get to my pharmacist, and they say, well, it's been about a month. But if I come back in like 3, 4 days, and that doesn't send a red flag to nobody. NYC serial shoplifter used to go on shoplifting sprees in plain sight. Whoa. A New York City kleptomaniac holds the record for most shoplifting arrests in 1 year. What do you give him? The golden cell? Yeah, in 2021, Isaac Rodriguez, 22, was arrested 46 times for retail theft. Damn. During that spree, he stole from Walgreens stores at least 37 times, including one Queen store, which he hit at least 23 times. And nobody's like, yeah, in total, he was arrested 57 times for offenses, including petite and grand larceny and gang assault. Why wasn't his picture posted everywhere in all retail stores across the tri-state area? Like, why? The 22-year-old has been a serial shoplifter since he was just 15 years old. Whoa. Since his criminal record started back in 2015, he has accumulated 74 offenses, from baby formula, lotion, lingerie, and Dove soap to energy drinks and Sensodyne toothpaste. He's stealing everything. Rodriguez reportedly stole from dozens of stores in plain sight. Why? Police said he would usually enter the target place for the robbery with a bag that he filled with items he deemed convenient as store managers and employees watch. So why okay. Because as a store manager, you're supposed to be like, yo, I just seen you come in here. You stole last time you came in here. We let you go get out of here before I call the police. Yeah, Rodriguez was jailed this summer after bond to capture him was set at $15,000 by Queens criminal court judge David Kirshner. Although his shoplifting record was serial, most of Rodriguez's offenses were not bail eligible. Yeah, because you probably you're out on bail, skipping bail, and committing the same crimes that you like up to go to court for. But after being arrested for shoplifting at a Walgreens in Corona for the 13th time on August 24th, he was unable to walk free because of a statute that that made it possible for bail statute that made it possible for bail if an individual is caught committing a crime while out on their own reconnaissance for another crime. Exactly. Rodriguez's criminal history was limited to theft charges, including petite and grand larceny, until this summer when his crime spree reached a violent turn. In June, he and other men robbed, hit, and stabbed 39-year-old Pablo Cusco in Jackson Heights after Cusco gave them $1 they had asked for. And this is why. So basically, the system failed this man. The system failed the guy that got stabbed, right? The system failed him, but they really failed this guy because they really sit there and watched him progress as a criminal since he was a teenager. How long was it going to be before this happened? They sat there and literally watched him progress as a criminal. But I guess as long as it wasn't violent, they thought it was cute. No, he almost killed me. He should stay in jail for sure. For sure. Cusco told the Post, I was punched a lot and stabbed with a knife. I'm scared because they may find me again. Rodriguez was arrested. And yeah, because they let him out. Because, this is the guy that used that would be in your hood, and every spring he would get locked up for something real stupid every year, every spring, and then like he'll be out before the middle of the summer is over, and you ask how you get caught so many times, but you're always out. Yeah, but you're always on the streets every time you do some shit. Another Walgreen, however, was hit by Rodriguez even more times than the one in Corona. Rodriguez targeted. Yeah, this dude is like the guy from The Wire. The drugstore passed on. They just get out of his way. Store on 91-08 Roosevelt Ave in Jackson Heights at least 23 times. How are you hitting these places 20 times, 10 times, and nobody's doing anything? They claim Rodriguez had been stealing from the store for over a year, sometimes attacking even 3 times in the same day. For that, it's not even stealing no more. You're just giving it to him. Yeah, save yourself the trouble of showing up to court and being a witness by just saying that the store is just giving the products to him because they feel bad for him or some bullshit. Other stores that Rodriguez stole from are CVS, Target, Victoria's Secret, because he has a sweetheart, and Macy's. Looking at his rap sheet, this isn't a hinge moment. There isn't a hinge moment. He has a storm of criminal activity. He probably has no job history at all because, the outcomes have not dissuaded him from his path. There is a pattern of behavior that perpetuates a cycle of crime here, and it hasn't been stopped. They should have gave him a little bit of time. Yeah, Petrie said that 37% of individuals arrested for larceny are already facing felony charges. I've seen that happen before. You catch a charge while you out on bail already. It just gets worse. Methods like increasing police patrols in neighborhoods highly affected by shoplifters have been implemented, but the numbers remain higher than ever. Especially, you hear stories about like the jails are filling up corona due to COVID-19. So jails and criminal systems are picking and choosing like who they really like lock up, especially if there's not violent crimes. They are like, I think they said in like Oregon or something, people just walk into Home Depot, fill the carts up, fill the carts up and walk out, and nobody says anything because you'll probably get a fine. I don't know, 7 committing robbery in a store. You got to get something. You got to get a few years for that at least. At that time, you're just mocking the justice system. Oregon man fatally shot another man outside a nightclub for complimenting his girlfriend. Police say, why is this even a thing? Because don't you want your girl to look good? Like, I would want somebody to come up to me and be like, hey, y'all together? Your girl looks good tonight. Not in a respectable tone. Let's find out what he said, if he said anything. Ian McKenzie Cranston, police in Oregon arrested a man after prosecutors say he fatally shot another. You killed him for saying that your girlfriend looks good? Yeah, now you're going to jail. Now you're going to jail. And I guarantee you the next guy that she hooks up with won't have a problem and having somebody say the grand jury and Deschutes County indicted 27-year-old Ian McKenzie Cranston on multiple felony charges for the September 19th death of Barry Washington Jr., 22, in front of the Capitol Bar in downtown Bend. Deschutes County District Attorney John Hummel on Thursday announced that the charges against Cranston include one count each of second-degree murder, first-degree manslaughter, second-degree manslaughter, and first-degree assault, as well as 2 counts of unlawful use of a weapon. Well, damn, they they gave him everything. Crummel, wow, Hummel's announcement of the murder charge was met by cheers and applause after community activists and local officials previously complained that Cranston, who was white, was getting off easy for the alleged murder of Washington, a 22-year-old black man. Oh, wow. Cranston had initially been charged with manslaughter and was released after posting $10,000 bond. Wow. They tried to say, oh, because a black man said his girl looked good. Like, whoa. What a way to lose your freedom over. What a way to just throw your life away for, like, yeah, now the woman that you thought that you were defending her honor, now she's going to be getting plowed by somebody else who doesn't care whether somebody tells her she looks good or not. Police responded to a call at that's fucked. Police responded to, yet true. Police responded to a call at the corner of Northwest Oregon Ave and Northwest Wall Street just after midnight, after receiving reports about a man being shot and bleeding on the sidewalk. Whoa. Barry Washington was murdered and the white couple laughed. What was this tweet that was out there? Yeah, Barry Washington was murdered in Oregon. The white couple laughed and called him racial slurs. Even as he laid dead on the ground, the killer is out on bail. Oh, this is what happened? That was the extent of their interaction. Hummel said that later in the night, shortly after midnight, Washington complimented the same woman while outside of the bar, though it is unclear whether he recognized her and knew it was the same woman who had previously said she was in a relationship. He went to shoot his shot. He went to shoot his shot. And somebody, you can't take things that personal, man. Like, and yeah, it's not like the guy, there's no evidence that what Mr. Washington did when he approached the woman was inappropriate. Hummel, probably not. There's not an allegation that he groped her, grabbed her, was crass with her. He complimented her in a respectful manner. She was fine back. She was fine back. She said, "No, thank you. I'm flattered, but I'm in a relationship." No allegation that anything that Mr. Washington did was inappropriate. Wow, this is wild. This time Cranston saw the interaction and was not happy. This is insecure shit right there. And she handled it like a lady, and it was up to him to take it like a man, and he couldn't do it. He said some words to Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington said some words back. Hummel said there was some pushing, some jostling, some punches thrown, and then it calmed down. It was not going to get out of hand. Then Mr. Cranston pulled a gun out of his waistband and shot and killed Mr. Washington. Punk move. The district attorney said that Cranston's actions were completely inappropriate. It was beyond inappropriate. If not, you step outside and get your ass beat, sir. Fight over it if you have to. And at this point, it didn't even really like it seemed. It didn't even seem like it was worth fighting over. If this is really what happened, he gave the woman a compliment. She said, "No, thank you. I'm not interested," and that was supposed to be the end of it. Hummel said that there was insufficient evidence to bring a hate crime charge against Cranston, though he noted that the investigation into the shooting was ongoing and additional charges could be added. Oh man, Cranston is currently being held in the Deschutes County Jail without bond. Yeah, you cannot let your insecurity, you cannot let your anger drive you to a point where now you're sitting in a cell trying to figure out what happened. Where did it all go wrong? Where did it all go wrong? And now your girl is out somewhere getting plowed. I'm sorry. Yo, that being said, I'm going to wrap up the show. Don't forget to hit the notification buttons. And once again, please let me know if you like this newer time that I'm dropping this content for y'all. And I will talk to you guys very, very, very soon. Adios.